North Korea's launch this week of a long-range rocket. It's triggered a wave of condemnation, including an emergency meeting from the UN Security Council. Now, Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, he's saying that this rocket launch, it's deeply deplorable, saying the country's in violation of the Security Council and its resolutions. South Korea, meanwhile, they're neighbors to the country. They've collected around 270 pieces of debris that's fallen off of this rocket launch, objects falling into the ocean. They're working to analyze it now. So, Mark, if you recall, this isn't their first launch. 2012 was their first. And contrary to international speculation regarding the rocket launch, they're saying that they put it into satellite, that it's orbiting.
Right, there's conflicting reports. This isn't necessarily an ICBM meant to launch a nuclear warhead. It perhaps has launched a satellite. There are reports that the satellite actually came tumbling across the United States over San Francisco just after the Super Bowl. Perhaps they were trying to get a view of what was going on, but they didn't get a chance because it was tumbling through space.
Well, you make a good point. So the satellite situation, which there's no international law that, well, there are plenty of sanctions that the UN has tried to impose, but the speculation is that because they're trying to do this rocket launch, they're also developing ballistic missiles. That they had released a report, we'd covered it here on the lip, that they had actually created a hydrogen bomb. And that's the concern.
Sure, this is the fear. If you can launch a satellite into space, technically you have the ability to launch a nuclear warhead, but why would they want to? Even though they speak some insane rhetoric, do they really have a desire to just drop a nuclear weapon on the United States? If they do, they're going to be gone. They'll be gone completely.
I mean, not if we're gone first.
They got one. They got one.
You make a good point. So the latest information about this North Korean rocket, that it was actually taken from a stockpile of mid-range missiles based in Soviet-era technology. So they're taking Soviet spare parts that they've made this rocket with in a rudimentary type way. And that's the intellectual leap the countries are making around the world. And I want to point out these sanctions. They've already sanctioned North Korea to the point where they, no luxury goods, arms trading has been halted. A lot of sanctions surrounding them, but they're still managing to put together hydrogen bombs and rockets.
The United States has over 500 satellites flying around at any given time. They pretty much have free reign over the air and space of the entire planet. We're allowed to do that. We can do that. We're all over North Korea. We can look in there and see everything that's going on. So North Korea, not to say that I'm any buddies of theirs, I don't really think we need to worry so much. If they get a nuclear weapon and they go completely off the rails, yes, they could do great damage to one city one time before they cease to exist entirely.
Right. You think they just want to join the party? They want their own rocket too?
It's probably a deterrent. It's a deterrent from any kind of aggression against them, of course, because they see the alignment against them. And also, of course, the alignment against them is to deter them from trying to move into South Korea.
Right, that's right. Well, as you pointed out, over 530 satellites the U.S. has. So they're launching their own. This is their second one. They might be weaponizing plutonium, maybe not, but they have launched a rocket into orbit.